and welcome. You're tuned into Buy Now, Sell Now on ET Now. I'm Srishi Sharma. With me today is Winnie Motiwala. And viewers, this is the show where you get answers for all your stock-related queries. In a short while from now, we will connect with our experts and onto the Buy Now, Sell Now lens. We're going to be putting the spotlight on Zomato, which is closely tracked by Winnie itself. But Winnie, before that, let's have a word on the markets then, because the markets continue to be volatile. Though the India VIX is not doing much as of today. Thankfully, but Nifty as well as Bank Nifty just flip-flopping between the green and the red territory.
Absolutely, so when you look at the Nifty chart also right now, what we saw was that, it was high, then it fell down and again start trying to make that recovery. It's almost flat, as we are seeing, with some bit of a jump up coming in there. But yes, some bit of a recovery, at least from the day's lowest point, is what we have seen for the Nifty 50, 22,150 levels. Around that, it's what it's managing to hold on to since the last 30 minutes. So let's keep an eye out on the Nifty. Broader markets, yes, doing well. Small cap specifically is managing to hold on to good gains. So Nifty small cap and mid cap managing to hold on to some bit of a better gain. Small cap is up almost 1%. Mid cap is up almost 0.2% to a 0.3% in trade. Nifty Bank, that's a bit of a subduedness. We did see the chart there, almost flattish, 0% gains, not, with a negative bias right now, flip-flopping between the red and the green for the Nifty Bank. Nifty IT, Nifty Pharma and FMCG, they are the other sectors that are not managing to hold on to any bit of a gain right now, trading in the red. Metals, that's the one that is shining bright. So we do have Hindalco, JSPL, GSPL, which are managing to hold on, Hind Copper, which is managing to hold on to very strong gains. So yes, keeping an eye on that. But that's how the market is looking like, Shrishti. Metal, something that is managing to hold on to some bit of a shine, some bit of a sheen there. Other than that, Realty is the other one, which is holding on.
Well, yes, Winnie, and definitely the defense and the shipping counters are doing pretty well in today's trading session as well. But Winnie, let's talk about Zomato then. Just in the second half and towards the close of the trading session, we did see the numbers trickling in. A bit of a disappointment there, but what a recovery from the day's lowest point for yesterday. Even for today, Winnie, there were cuts in Zomato, but what a recovery from the day's lowest points. Tell us how are the earnings this time around and what are the brokerages saying at this point?
Shrishti, I believe what is very interesting this time is that, yes, yesterday, when the numbers were announced, like you were mentioning, we saw a fall coming in, but then we saw a recovery. Today also we saw a fall coming in. Overall, the numbers were in line. Slight bit of a miss that you could say in terms of profit front, but there was an ESOP charge also this time that was there, an adjustment of 160 crores approximately. So keeping an eye on that in terms of the profitability. But overall, key con call takeaways, Blinkit turned that EBITDA positive from the month of EBITDA positive from the month of March 2024, adjusted EBITDA positive. That's what the company highlighted, and that was the key that we were watching out for in terms of a commentary there. Also, in terms of Blinkit EBIT, that came in at around 2 crores versus a loss in the previous quarter. So keeping an eye on that. They're focusing more in terms of store expansions for Blinkit. 1,000 stores is what they plan to add by FY25 end. So almost doubling in terms of their store count as well. And now brokerages continuing to maintain their ratings, except for Avendus Spark, which is actually downgrading their the stock to an add from a previous buy rating. So still on the positive side is what the rating is, though they've raised the target price to 210. Even similarly for Jefferies, they hiked the target price to 230 rupees. UBS has maintained the target price at 250 rupees, and Bernstein hiking the target price to 230 rupees as well. Now, obviously, Bernstein is highlighting that the food delivery was in line, profitability has improved, Blinkit came in as a surprise. That's what they're keeping an eye out on. But the factor is that we've seen that run up in Zomato in the last 1 year, almost 200% uptick in terms of the stock price for Zomato. So yes, after that 200% uptick, maybe seems like, is it priced in? That's the question that we always ask, right? That are the positives already put into place and already in the price is what we're watching out for. And that is why maybe some bit of a fall, at least Shrishti, what we're seeing today in the stock price.
All right, that's the take coming in on Zomato. But with this, let's also listen in to Zomato's management on how they're planning to increase their Blinkit stores and take on the quick commerce too.
The store count increase, like you mentioned, like a lot of our increase is now indexed to the cities which are growing. So Bangalore, Hyderabad, Mumbai, and a few other cities. So the time to break even usually varies depending on whether we are opening a store in an existing location, new location. So we expect that it will not increase meaningfully, the time to break even, but it will be higher than the 2 months that we have put in, and we are already accounting for that in our projections as well. But outside of that, I think what you will see us do more and more is just going into underpenetrated markets in the top 4 cities and opening more stores over there. I think our attempt is to keep reinvesting back into the business to grow as fast as possible, while we want to sort of maintain at least neutrality on the EBITDA side. So that's our strategy. Based on like how our expansion goes in a particular quarter, the numbers might be up and down, but it will not significantly deviate from our stated objective of remaining at least EBITDA neutral, if not positive.
All right, so that's the take coming in from Zomato's management. But with this, let's understand how is Zomato placed technically, and how are the fundamental analysts looking like? Do they still find value in Zomato at this point in time? And is the stock ready for some more uptick after crossing that 200 level or not, if that happens? So let's understand the dynamics at play from Kush Bohra, who is joining us on the technical side as well as on the fundamental side. We have been joined by Rajesh Agarwal, Head of Research at AUM Capital. A very good morning, gentlemen, and thank you so much for your time. Rajesh, I would like to have your take first on Zomato, because just after the earnings, there wasn't much excitement on the stock. But given their long-term targets and the kind of clarity that the management has on the growth outlook, do you believe that there's still value in Zomato? Because from that time where people were discussing about Zomato 40 rupees to a level of close to 200 rupees now, do you still find value in Zomato?
Good morning, Kush. You said it right. After that stellar run, Zomato, and the last 6 months or so, almost double. I think new investors should wait for some time for new entry. Yes, there is some value, maybe 15% appreciation from the current market price is quite possible in the next 9 to 12 months. But still, for new buying, I would say wait for some time because of the kind of run-up which we have seen in the recent past. And as far as the numbers are concerned, the numbers were pretty much in line, I would say. Revenue growth was in line. Blinkit grew well. And they have said that they are going to expand around 1,000 stores in the near future. FY revenue growth was 70% plus. And the best part was Blinkit EBITDA was positive. The management is aggressive on store expansion and all those things. The management commentary was very exciting yesterday. But still, with the kind of low margin around 2.4, 2.5%, I think all the positives has already been discounted. And I don't believe in the near future the margins are going to go up by any greater margin, I would say. Quarterly performance was good. Q-commerce done well. But reinvestment in the business is going to take place for a pretty long period of time because of store expansion and other things. And not to forget that if any marketing expenses are increased, the margins would further take some knock. So for new investment, maybe a 170, 175 levels would be a better level to invest for a longer term horizon of 220 odd rupees.
Surely keeping an eye out on those levels there, but also Kush, on the technicals, do you also believe that maybe slight bit of a run up is still left for Zomato, or what is your view now?
First up, a very good morning, guys. A slightly, I would say, a slightly divergent from what Rajesh said, not by a big margin, perhaps only different, in terms of the level. If you see from a technical standpoint, the stock is actually in a rising wedge. Now, every time the stocks actually, hit the upper end of this wedge, it's corrected. Even the high that we've seen this week that the stock has made is, close to that level. But what is interesting is that the stock has a buying support in that 180 to 185 zone. Even this time around, the low was about 182. So I think, from a risk reward standpoint, from a near-term standpoint, if someone wants to accumulate, I think this dip might turn out to be a good near-term buying opportunity where your stop loss is firmly placed in that 180 to 185 zone. On the upside, the targets that come about are 205, and once that is taken out, you're looking at a 215 as well, which will again be the upper end of this rising wedge. So from a near-term perspective, I think this dip is a welcome one. And since the stock is very close to the support zone, I think, from a near-term perspective, one, even if it's a small bet, could be considered, at these levels. So from, the technical standpoint, at least from a near-term perspective.
Okay. That's a view on Zomato over there. But, on that note, let's look at some of these other names also that are buzzing in trade. We do have some movers. Ethos, that's also buzzing in trade after its numbers that came in during market hours. Other than that, we do have Aarti Pharma Labs on the back of its numbers. Alembic also that is moving on the back of its numbers. But on that note, we're going to slip into a very short break. Don't go anywhere, because after the break, we'll be back and we'll be taking all your stock related queries with our experts for today, Kush as well as Rajesh. So don't go anywhere. Good morning, welcome back. You're watching Buy Now Sell Now on ET Now, and we'll get started with all your stock related queries, because market surely is seeing a recovery. What are your stocks going to be doing? Where are they going to be headed? We do have our experts with us, Kush Bohra as well as Rajesh Agarwal, today to solve all your stock related queries. And you can start sending us your queries on the number that is flashing at the top of the screen. So do start sending us your queries. Kush as well as Rajesh, let's get started then. And Rajesh, this first query we have is coming your way. This is from Vara Prasad from Hyderabad. They're holding Tech Mahindra for the last 3 years, currently making some 12-15% profit over there. Should they continue to hold Tech Mahindra, or maybe switch to some other stocks, maybe a newer listing of Tata Technologies, Engineers India, or something like that?
See, a lot of pain has gone into Tech Mahindra in the last 1 year or so. It has not moved as such, and the investors have quite been frustrated, I would say. But the recent performance of the company has been quite good. The numbers have been better than expected, I would say. And going forward too, with the kind of 5G launches and all planned via a number of telcos, I think this company is going to do well, at least in the near future. Second, valuations are on a very strong footing. If you go compared to the peers, it's trading at a discount to it's what the valuation the peers are trading at. So I think one can continue to hold the stock for a target of maybe 1350, 1380 odd rupees in the next 6 to 9 months.
All right, that's the take coming in on Tech Mahindra. But Kuch, coming to you for the next query, GK Sharma has bought IRCTC and his buy price is 950 rupees. Is that a hold or sell in the short term? How are the charts looking like?
It's very clearly a hold, Shristi. I think, just this morning, you and I, we were having a conversation about IRCTC, and, my view was that the level of 1020 is a critical one. If that is crossed, then you will see the stock pick up momentum. And from there on, 1050, 1075 will be the next level to watch for. The stock seems to be in that giving mood, and it's almost hitting that 1020 mark. Let's see that, if that is taken out, fairly bullish. On the whole, the stock is doing well. 990 is a stop loss for a breakout and a momentum. Hold for this 1020 level to be crossed, and the target then will be 1075.
The word on IRCTC. Rajesh, this query is on a couple of stocks we have. The viewer Murli from Bangalore wants to know Home First Finance and Birla Soft, if they can buy both these stocks, and also HPCL or BPCL, anything that is looking exciting for the next 12 to 24 months for you on these four stocks.
Out of these four, I think HPCL, BPCL both are looking very good. Despite the fact that in the last 1 year or so, they have run up quite a lot, but still they're trading at a lower than their intrinsic value. They have number of petrol stations, the refining capacity of BPCL, all those things taken together, I think still there are a lot of value left, and not to forget the dividend and bonus which they have announced in the stock. So I think one should go ahead and buy any one of them, or partial BPCL and partial HPCL.
All right, that's the take on BPCL as well as HPCL. But the next query that I have, Kush, is coming from Subrata Ghosh from Delhi, one of our regular viewers. And today he's saying that he's into momentum trading of two counters, Jubilant Pharma as well as Nazara Technologies. He's been holding the stocks from a lower levels, sitting in profits. But in the near term, what to expect in both of these names?
Well, so Nazara is in a strongish kind of a downturn. While I would like to say that there are near-term support zones, perhaps some of them already breached. 625 was a crucial support zone that's already breached. Stocks approaching oversold territories, but I'm afraid that he could be in for some more pain. In Nazara at least. So 575 is the next crucial zone to watch for, although a little deep, but that seems to be some kind of meaningful support. As far as Jubilant Farm Nova goes, that is one stock that he can continue to hold on to. I think the stock is on the verge of a breakout. I think the 700 level is proving a stiff resistance, but then we know how it works, right? I mean, once these stiff resistances are taken out, the momentum catches up real fast. So Jubilant Farm Nova hold, you can place a strong stop loss at the 680, 675 zone. 700, once that is taken out, the stock could zoom to 735 and 750 levels also in a shortish span of time.
Okay, Kush, we have one more query coming your way. This one is on Deep Industries. We have Kabir Bedi from Patiala, who's purchased Deep Industries 750 shares at a price of around 240 rupees per share 2 months ago. They want to know, could they continue to hold these for the next 3 months, or should they exit the stock now?
No, continue to hold. First up, the buying price is fairly low, and they've seen this rough phase where the stock had dipped drastically. But then also last week we saw a very smart recovery on the stock. This momentum could very well continue. So from my perspective, this stock is very much a hold. A positional stop comes in at 290 from the current setup. So 290 is a trailing stop loss that they should maintain. On the upside, we're looking at a 330 and a 345 level as the next level of resistance, or perhaps what they would consider as a target.
All right, moving on to the next query then, and this one that I have is coming in on Titan. Rajesh, this query is from a viewer. Actually, he didn't share his name. Let me check. Okay, Himanshu is his name, and he wants an advice on Titan. His entry level is 3,450 rupees. He's at a loss in Titan, but what to expect from the company in terms of the share price movement?
See, the stock has been witnessing a cut after the result. The results were below market expectation, no doubt, but I think it was one-off. And going forward with the kind of brand it has, not only into jewelry but in watches and eyewear too, and not to forget Taneria, which they have recently launched. All are doing very well. Going forward too, I think the company is going to do well. The number of stores they have been adding, the margins have been on a strong footing, and despite gold trading at a much higher price, we have seen demand coming up. So I think this cut is giving an opportunity to long-term investors to accumulate.
Okay. That's the word on Titan. Let's move on and talk about the next stock, Zee Enterprise. Kush, that's the question Poonam has, is that she's holding 200 shares of Zee Enterprises at a price of 146 rupees. Also, another stock that she's mentioned is Anmol Limited. I don't know whether you're tracking it, but she has 1,000 shares of that at 56 rupees. What's the view on both these? Should they continue to hold this or maybe look to exit?
Both of them are an exit. At least Zee was not on our radar for a long time from a buy perspective. In fact, we've maintained an exit for a very long time. Although risk reward might seem attractive and the stock's fallen quite a bit, I think there isn't any news or any move that is perhaps going to turn the corner around for Zee. So even if it's a loss, it's a good idea to exit Zee. I think Anmol, we had on our track for some time before it started this steep downturn. A near-term support rather comes in at 35, very close, but I'm not sure if the recovery will be equally sharp. So perhaps even an Anmol, at the current stage is an exit. I know both the losses are a bit deep, but the way the structure is, I think an exit and moving to some other productive counters will perhaps be a better strategy.
Right, look out for some better counters and not Zee. That's the day coming in from Kush. Yeah. Okay, we're moving on to the next counter then, and the next query that I have is coming in on Navama. Rajesh, what's your take on this one? Puneet wants to have a take on this one. Do you believe that this is a good stock to enter at this point in time?
Which stock you said?
Navama Wealth.
Okay. The company has been doing well, but still I believe that there are a lot of better options and NBFC space, the best one at this point of time in our radar is Geo Financials. So more rather than going for Nuvama, I think one can, if somebody is having a long-term view of maybe 2-3 years down the line and looking for a decent return, Geo would be a better bet.
The word on Navamsa Wealth. Let's move on to the next stock, and then we do have Lupin. Kush, Money wants to know from Chennai, Lupin at current levels, is it an attractive buy for a time period of 12 months?
From a 12-month perspective, yes. We've seen a sharp run up and then long phase of consolidation. In fact, the entire year, the stock's been in a consolidation range of, let's say 1550 on the downside and just about 1700, on the upside. But I think this is, perhaps a fair bit of consolidation after that long up move that we saw. I think, one of the pharma stocks, that could do well, in the coming, as you said, a 9 to 12 months kind of a horizon is Lupin. This consolidation is a little healthy for the stock. So I think, they can continue to hold Lupin if they want to add more. This is perhaps a good time to enter, where you have a very clear stop at 1550. And once the 1700 resistance level is taken out, 1800 is the next level for the stock. So 1800 target and 1550 is the stop. And Lupin, from this juncture for a 12-month horizon, looks like a steady buy.
Looks like a steady buy, but one more query coming in for you, Kush. This one is from Krish, and he specifically wants your take on Ingersoll Rand. I'm not sure whether you track this one or not, but just purely on the technical and the chart front, if you can help him with. He's holding 50 shares and his buy price is 3,500 rupees. Though he has a long-term view and he wants a view for the next 3 years, but at this point in time, can he go ahead and add more of this counter? The stock is Ingersoll Rand.
Sure, Shishi, we do have a track on this, not a very active one though, because it's not really a trader counter, but we still have a track on this. First up, congratulations on the buy and holding on to this for, the kind of run up that the stock has seen. If he tracks it actively, I'm sure he also knows that the stock has a tendency of giving a breakout and then consolidating for about a month or so and then giving a breakout again. So my suggestion would be to, buy this when the stock is showing that dip. Currently, it is in that breakout zone where 4450 was the resistance level, and the stock's broken above that now. I think any dip that you get closer to the 4350 mark should be taken as a buying opportunity. And going by the track record, after this breakout, the stock will perhaps show a dip once again. 4350, 4400 also is a zone where they could look to accumulate more. And on the whole, the stock's a pretty firm candidate for a 3-year kind of a holding horizon as well that he has.
Okay, that's the word on Ingersoll Rand. We had one more, the similar query coming in from one more viewer as well. So yes, Dinesh, your query also is answered by Kush, so keeping an eye on that. But on that note, let's just slip into a very short break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more of the stock-related queries after the break. Welcome back. You're watching Buy Now, Sell Now on ET Now. And let's keep it going with all your stock-related queries with the expert for today, Rajesh, as well as Kush. Rajesh, we have this long-term query from Yuvraj from Chennai. They want to know on Sunteck. They bought 200 shares of Sunteck Realty. And as of now, they're making around a 10% loss on this. So should they look to maybe add more at the current levels? Or what should they be doing with this for the long term?
And I think the kind of demand which we are witnessing yesterday also, we saw advertisement of DLFs project being sold out in minutes. So that's the kind of demand which we have been witnessing, especially on the luxury segment after the COVID and all. Realty as a space is going to do well in the near future, no doubt on that. But as far as valuations are concerned, I think it's somewhere on the higher side. So I would say try to exit on every rise rather than switch to DLF. That would be a better bet, or even Godrej Properties or Sobha Developers are better bets than what Sunteck is trading at this point of time on valuation parameters.
All right, moving on. And Rajesh, once again, a query for you. This one is actually coming in on Indegene, the stock which got listed just yesterday. And a viewer named Smita has got this allotment during the issue as well. So what's the take coming in on Indegene? Can she continue to hold this one for the long term?
On the kind of horizon you have. If it's a long term, yes, you can continue to hold. But if you have bought just for, if you applied just for flipping purposes, then I think one should try to book profit, because after the gain of around 30% odd yesterday, I think it's time one needs to book profit on a short term position on those applicants who have done just for flipping. For long term, yes, the company is on strong footing, doing very well, and it's a unique business model. Carry on, hold on to the stock.
There were a couple of other queries on Indegene, so I hope all your viewers regarding Indegene is answered by Rajesh. But let's move on to the next one. And Kush, this one is on Swarma SGS. Vishwanathan Nair, I beg your pardon, from Cochin, wants to know if they can look to average Swarma SGS at 597. I know you normally say nothing in terms of averaging. That's why I took a pause. But that's his question, that what should they be doing with Swarma SGS? And also in the pharma space, Cipla or Piramal Pharma, anything looking exciting to you there?
Well, I think this is becoming a bit of a my thing, isn't it? The the averaging thing, but I will stand by it. Unless pyramiding is something that I recommend instead of averaging. So as far as Swarma SGS goes, no, don't look to average just yet. And again, not because I'm not a big fan. It's also because the stock is in that steep downturn. Even if you see today, the stock actually just barely holding on to the low that it made last week, right? But the volumes that have come around have also spiked up drastically. So my suggestion is to wait for some time, let the stock find its feet. Truth be told, the support for the stocks comes in rather deep, close to the 360 kind of levels. Perhaps if it does dip to those levels and attempts a rebound, that's when you can consider averaging, but not at the moment. The selling does not seem to be a complete right now. The other stocks that you had asked me for, I think was Cipla was one of them, right?
Piramal Pharma, any of them looking exciting in the pharma pack?
So, well, again, Lupin we just discussed, so that's an option that he can consider. But Cipla too, not bad. The momentum's missing. The stock's stuck in a range, and 1400, 1420 is proving to be a tough level to cross. But if they are informed from a medium to long term perspective, then perhaps a Cipla. But if not, then I think Lupin, the stock that we just discussed, can also be considered from the pharma space.
All right, moving on to the next counter. Then Rajesh, I'm coming to you for this one. This one is from Gayatri from Tirupati. She's holding two counters. Firstly is Yes Bank, and her buy price is 35 rupees, around those levels. And she also has Aarti Drugs, and his buy price is quite high at around 834 rupees. So we can see that she is at a good, quite a big loss in both of these stocks. So what to do in these names, keeping the kind of a movement that these stocks have shown? Do you advise to average out any of these names right now?
At this point of time, will not be advised, because I don't think Yes Bank is going to do anything in the near future. Of course, the numbers have been pretty good. CASA has improved, margins have improved, asset quality has improved. They are doing very well, but still at 22, 23 odd rupees, I think all the positives are being discounted. Unless one is there for a very long period of time and the risk appetite is too high, I think one should not continue with Yes Bank. But of course, somebody having horizon of 2-3 years and a good risk appetite can add Yes Bank on dips around 2019 or 20 odd levels. As far as the drugs is concerned, the chemical sector has been in a downturn from the quite long period of time, and it seems like it has been bottoming out in the near future. But still, averaging at this point of time would not be advised unless some positive indicators start coming in.
Kush, Balakrishnan from Chennai wants to know if they can look to enter L&T Finance and Dr. Reddy's at the current levels.
Well, so L&T Finance, there was a spark, that came around, but other than that, the stock actually just fizzled out. So while the risk reward ratio might seem a little attractive, and only and only from that perspective, perhaps you can consider where 150 is the 200-day moving average and a support zone as well for the stock, and on the upside you're looking at 170 perhaps as a target. So as I said, from a risk reward perspective, yes, but the momentum's missing. Perhaps they can also check out AB Capital as an alternative. So L&T Finance, that's the view. Which was the second stock? I'm sorry, you asked for.
Yeah, L&T Finance and Dr. Reddy's.
Sure. So on Dr. Reddy's, the stock is consolidating. Here, even though we've seen a big crack, last week, but the stock's respecting the support zones. So I think, this is a stock that can be considered buying, although with the current dip, I wouldn't park too much money into it. I would perhaps just start accumulating here. And once the stock, moves higher, crosses the 6,000 level, perhaps look to add some more. So Dr. Reddy's is, an accumulate or a start buying from here on. 5,800 is a strong support zone, so that should be kept as a stop loss.
All right, moving on, and Kush, once again coming to you, this query is on Peninsula Land. Alok Manga has been writing to us to have a take on this one. He bought these shares 3 months back at a price of 56 rupees, and today itself the stock is up 13 to 15%. In the near term, like maybe in the next 3 to 6 months, can he continue to hold this counter, or maybe look out to book out some profits here?
Well, from a purely technical setup perspective and a momentum trade, this could be a fresh entry as well. So my suggestion: continue holding on a weekly basis. The stock's made higher highs for the last 3, perhaps 4 weeks now. So this momentum could take the stock higher. A prudent thing would be to have a trailing stop loss at 63. He should exit completely. But if that is held, continue to hold, with a trailing stop loss at 63. The stock has the potential to move to 72 from here on. And once that is taken out, you're looking at a 77 as well. But as the stock keeps moving higher, please, keep trailing the stop losses higher as well.
Okay. Rajesh, we have Raghuraman from Trichy, who's holding 50 shares of Adani Ports at a price of 1,340 rupees, while Bajaj Finance also 10 shares at a price of 7,030 rupees per share. What should they be doing with both these stocks, Adani Ports as well as Bajaj Finance? Hold or maybe look to sell?
Both are a hold from our side, and any dip should be taken as an opportunity to add on both the stocks. Both of them are doing very well. First, coming to Bajaj Finance, the large customer base of retail customer base doing very well. The NAMs have been good. The numbers this time was pretty good. I think one will continue to hold. As far as Adani Ports is concerned, the largest logistic port player in the country, they're adding capacity. The numbers have been pretty good. Both of the companies are doing very well. Continue to hold.
So hold on Adani Ports. But Kush, what's your view coming in on Interglobe Aviation? We have seen this stock flying high, but Anil Malhotra is already holding 175 shares and his buy price is 3,150 rupees. Can he continue holding this for the next 1 month as well, or good time to move out of this one?
Well, no, continue to hold on. Despite the kind of sharp up move that we've seen, the stocks, fairly away from, any kind of, overheated territories. In fact, the stock's seen a fair degree of profit booking also along the way. So, there doesn't seem to be a case for overheating just yet. The volumes are, however, thinning on the way up. So that is suggesting that, the momentum perhaps could slow down a little, but the trajectory right now is up. So unless the stock gives you an indication of perhaps, slipping or, giving a pause, no point, booking out, on a momentum trade a little early. So here, a stop loss would be close to the 4,4050 levels. Continue to hold. There's a fair chance that, the stock could hit 4,250 and 4,400 levels before it approaches those, overheated territories.
Kush, one more quick query your way. Ultratech Cement is what...
Alright,
okay.
So those are the visuals.
Okay, yes, we do have the visuals coming from Varanasi, and yes, PM Modi is going to file his nomination from Varanasi for the Lok Sabha election. So that's what we're taking a look at, because that's a mega political event that's happening. 2024 Lok Sabha elections, Prime Minister Narendra Modi filing his nominations from Varanasi, seeking a third term for the constituency. A day before filing his papers, the PM Modi had held a 6-kilometer long roadshow, promising to do a lot more for the overall development of the city if voted to power again. And for some background on that as well, Varanasi Lok Sabha constituency witnessed a historic clash in 2014 when PM Modi Then BJP's Prime Ministerial candidate contested against AAP's Chief and Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal from Varanasi. So yes, you can see the visuals there right on your screen. PM Modi going to file his nominations in from Varanasi for the 2024 Lok Sabha elections. Third consecutive term from Varanasi is what PM Modi is going in for, and that's what we're keeping an eye out on. A lot of update coming in on the political front, and let's not forget that the demographics of Varanasi read around 75. That Varanasi will go to polls, and in the 7th and the last phase of the elections, that's going to be on 1st of June, and we'll see a contest between Prime Minister Modi and the Congress candidate Ajay Rai, who will be facing the Prime Minister for the third time from the seat as well. So yes, we're keeping an eye out on those election updates. Those were the visuals from Varanasi, where PM Modi is filing for his nomination from there. But on that note, we're going to slip into a very short break. Don't go anywhere, because after the break, we'll be taking more of his stock-related queries. Welcome back. You're watching Buy Now, Sell Now on ET Now. Kush, there was, obviously PM Modi filing his nominations from Varanasi when we got disrupted with the query, but I'm going to keep it going there. And then we have that query was on Ultratech Cement. That one was from Pawan, and they want to know that they've bought it at around 9,726 rupees. Should they look to add more at 9,600 or continue to just hold them?
Well, I mean, for what it's worth, give me a little extra time to perhaps look at the chart of the stock. Well, from a near-term perspective, the stock's seen a fair bit of volatility and also a mild negative bias. But I don't think on the whole there is a major structural damage. Although I don't recommend adding more at the current levels, what I would suggest is hold on to the existing position. A strong stop for this one comes in at 9,400, assuming that this is a trading bet. So 9,400 should be kept as a strong, as a tight stop loss. On the way up, the stock has all the potential to hit the 9,900 mark, and once that is taken out, perhaps even a 10,200, from a near-term perspective. It could just be some time before the stock gains momentum. The volumes have actually just been average, nothing to write home about. So overall, hold the stock from with a stop loss of 9,400.
All right, that's the hold coming in on Ultratech Cement. But with this, let's move to another counter. And Rajesh, Gautam wants to have your take on two pharma majors. Firstly is Glenmark Pharma. He's holding the stock from a price of 932 rupees. And he also wants a view on Piramal Pharma. Can he sell Glenmark Pharma in profits right now and rather look to buy Piramal Pharma, which did come out with a good set of numbers, and he's looking to stay invested for the next 12 to 18 months?
See, I don't think that would be a better strategy to sell Glenmark and buy Piramal. If you have further liquid cash with you, can go ahead with Piramal Pharma. But selling Glenmark Pharma at this point of time won't be a prudent strategy. I think much of a upside is still left in Glenmark Pharma going forward, considering the fact that they have good product profile. The company has been doing well. The numbers have been quite satisfactory. One can continue holding to Glenmark Pharma. If have somebody has new investment money with them, they can go ahead with Piramal Pharma.
Rajesh, one more query you're with. This one is from S. Roy from Bangalore. They are holding REC Limited, 200 shares at a price of 130 rupees. For the long term, next 2 to 3 years, what's the view on this?
REC you said, right?
Yes, REC.
See, the company has been doing very well, but it has run up quite a lot. Previously, it used to trade at a historical P of 2-3 times, dividend yield of 9-10%. But if you look at current valuations trading at a 5-6-8 times price to earnings, I think all the positives has been discounted. Yes, the company has been doing well. But going forward, any meaningful upside from these levels in a very short period of time, I don't think that's quite easy to have. So wait for some correction, maybe 450, 480 odd levels would be a better level to enter rather than entering at this point of time. Somebody holding can continue to hold for a target of 550 in the next 6 to 9 months.
All right, that's the take on the power counters. But the next query that I have is coming in from Anwar. And Rajesh, he's a retired gentleman and wants to switch 650 shares of HDFC Bank stocks to a dividend yielding stock. He didn't share his buy price, but just wants to know any of your top recommendations, which could be a good dividend play as well. And also, your take on ITC, is that a good buy at current market price?
See, ITC has been all-time favorite from since very long period of time, around the levels of 150 odd levels. And still, I believe there's a lot of upside left considering their product profile. The cigarette business has grown, the volumes have gone up. They are moving very largely into dairy and beverages business. Debt-free company giving good dividend. Everything is in positive side for ITC. And as far as the DFC Bank is concerned, that's also a buy from our side. The bank is going to report 80,000 odd crore of profit from the next year onwards. It's one of the top five, one of the largest banks in the top five across the world, doing very well. And after the merger of HDFC, the size has grown like anything. If even the subsidiaries are doing well, yes, the stock has not done anything on the bourses for the last 1 year or so. But again, this stock can give you very good returns if you held for a long period of time, maybe 18 to 24 months down the line.
Okay, let's move on and get started with the queries in the rapid fire format then. And Kush, this one is for you. We have Swati who wants to know Olectra Greentech, Chennai Petro, which one to buy for a period of 1 to 2 years?
Olectra Greentech.
All right, Kush, Sushil Kumar wants to have a take on NMDC. He has bought these shares at a price of 236 rupees. Is that a hold or rather he can go ahead and book profits?
Continue to hold, stop loss at 250.
Okay, Rajesh, we have this next query and this is on Dalmia Bharat. Shankar is holding 150 shares at a price of 1,803 rupees. Should they continue to hold this or maybe look to exit?
Continue to hold, buy on dips.
All right, Kush, what's your view on Godfrey Phillips? Umesh Gupta has bought 50 shares. His buy price is 3,182 rupees. Would you advise to book out some profits or continue to hold on? Godfrey Phillips.
Continue to hold, trailing stop loss comes in at 34.50.
Rajesh, in this FMCG pack, Britannia, Dabur, HUL for a time period of 2 years, Sudha wants to enter one of the stocks. Which one would it be?
ITC would be the first bet, otherwise HUL.
All right, Rajesh, your view on Cupid. Namita is holding 200 shares and his buy price is just 97 rupees. What's the outlook on Cupid? Would you advise to continue to hold on?
Exit.
Okay, we have Sridhar from Coimbatore. SKM Eggs. Rajesh, how is that one looking for the long term?
The numbers have been good, doing very well. Continue to hold.
All right, Kush, your view on Manappuram Finance. Subramaniam from Chennai wants to know, is this a good buy at current market price? He's already holding the stock from a price of 119 rupees. What to do in this one? Book out profits? Can he add more at current market price?
Yes, he can add more at current price. On the upside, we are looking at a level of 200 as a target, and a stop comes in at 150.
And a quick one, Delta Corp Kush, 5,000 shares is what the viewer is holding. Can they continue to hold?
Delta Corp is an exit.
Okay, that is the last query today on this edition of Buy Now Sell Now. So thank you so much, Kush, as well as Rajesh, for joining in with us. And it's going to be a good buy from Shrishti, myself, as well as the team who put this show together.
If you like this video, then like, share and subscribe to ET Now.